good evening. What a nice crowd coming out wandering around through a cemetery. About dark. You couldn't ask for a better group of people, I guarantee. Well, and my name is Matthew Armstrong. Well, Matthew A. Armstrong. But that's not what they call me usually. And this is my lovely wife, Tranquilla.
How do?
She doesn't talk very much. I don't understand why. I think I ought to say I'm glad you all came to visit us, but if you'd have come to this spot a few years ago, you wouldn't have found us here. Because it's not where we belong. Not really. Now, we were transplanted here a few years ago by our great-grandson because he worried that where we were buried down on Crocus Creek was just going to be overtaken by nature. And nobody would ever know we were there. So he had us and our last child brought here. But we do get to see a lot of people. And where we were, it was a rare occasion if anybody stepped up to talk to us. Now I'm going to tell you a little something about me that I'll let Quilly talk to you a minute. Now I was born in 1848 over around Creelsboro. Grew up there. My father, William Armstrong, he died quite young and left our mother, Catherine, and me and my little sister. And we lived on a farm and we survived, but it was rough. And mother married again, had other children. She married one of the Wellses out of Wells Bob. But I was kind of independent. Now, I was a good sized boy. I'll just tell you. I was known all around. Now, being born in 1848, when the Civil War broke out, and Creelsboro being a trading town on the river, that put all of us folks there in the middle of history because both sides came through Creelsboro pretty regularly. Well, I was just a boy. But in the summer of 1863, there was recruiting a new outfit for the Union Volunteers, the 13th Kentucky Cavalry. And I went and joined up. Company C. Now, I was too young. I was just 15 years old. Not unusual, but if I looked like a regular 15-year-old boy, they probably wouldn't take me. But during my lifetime, I grew considerably. As a man, I was 6 foot and 8 inches tall, weighed 340 or 50 pounds, depending on what time of year it was and what I got to eat. So when I told them I was 18-year-old, they didn't dispute it and took me right in, and I spent the rest of the war with the 13th Cavalry. It was exciting. But when the war was over, I came home, went back to work on the farm, and continued on for a number of years. But my life changed at one point. I'll let Mrs. Armstrong say one or two.
Hello, I am Tranquilla Ryan Armstrong, and I was born in 1862. Now, if y'all are doing the math, you'll realize that he's quite a bit older than I am. But that wasn't frowned upon back in our time. We married in 1881. And for the next 10 years, we had a new baby every other year. 7 girls, to Matthew's chagrin. And in October of 1895, with our last child, which was a girl, he lost me and the baby. So, but she is right here with us. So,
Well, it wasn't unusual for older men to marry younger girls. I'd known her since she was about that tall because her daddy'd bring her to the store at Creelsburg, and I'd be there sometime. I'd see her. Of course, never dreamed that it would turn into anything, but one of those days, here she was 19 years old, and I was 33. And it just clicked. I never had been married, never had needed a wife, and didn't want a wife, didn't thought nothing about a wife. But all of a sudden, it was just like a ball peen hammer to the side of the head. And there it was. Well, we set up housekeeping down close to Amandaville, just over in the Cumberland County. And I farmed and traded stock and things like that. She kept house and had babies. Of course, by the time I lost her, our oldest girl was 13, so she could cook, and we weren't going to start. But life changed, certainly. But when she passed on, she and the baby were buried together up at the Ross graveyard up on the hill just in Russell County. And waited there for me until my time came in late winter 1909. And when I passed away, I had rheumatism pretty bad the last few years, but pneumonia of the lungs, and I just my breath just stopped. And of course, neighbors and family took care of the kids and sent to Columbia from a casket, which was a little over 7 foot long. And you can't tell it by looking there. Because when I was moved, that wasn't quite the length. But they had my funeral. Brother Graf Abril from over at Glens Fork, who was a Civil War soldier, good friend, had been all of our lives, and who was also a member of the Masonic Lodge at Glenville, came and had my funeral, and they carried me up the hill to the Ross graveyard, and there we sat, or lay. Well, thank y'all for coming. It's liable to get dark before long, and you all need to go. We'll see you another time.